Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. It is Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and this is episode 7. Oh my goodness, episode 7 of Just Like You, Everyday People, Amazing Stories. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate it. It's a great day here in Chicago. You might be able to hear some people, some children playing outside, and it's just a beautiful day outside. So I'm happy about that. You know, a lot's going on in the world, so I'm just so happy. There's some positivity going on around me, and I hope to continue to create some positivity here on Just Like You, Everyday People, Amazing Stories. So my guest should be coming on here in a second, but just a few admin issues I want to make sure. I always forget to say them, but should for any reason we get cut off or anything, please make sure you come back. We'll be back and we'll be here for the half an hour. So should we get cut off, just make sure you come back. And if you have any questions for us, feel free to put those in the comment section. So let's see here. Let me get her on here. There she comes. Jada? Jada! How
Hi,
are you, Cuzzo?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Good. Thank you so much.
Good.
I was just telling everybody we have a couple people here on the line that have joined us. So I was telling everybody, just in case we have a few, just in case we get cut off or anything, we will come back. There's
Okay.
a lot going on outside right now, but it also looked like there could be a storm. So just in case we get cut off.
Same here.
Yeah. So if we get off, you guys, we'll come back and we'll be here till 7:30. I want to go ahead and get started. So Jada is my talented cousin. Super, super, super talented. When I was talking to her about coming on the show, I just told her how I was envious. She's definitely one of those people that can showcase her talent at the drop of a dime. I'm going to showcase it on the show today, but it makes me kind of jealous or envious. So I wish I could do it. I wish I could be talented with her. But I wanted to have her on the show today to share her experience. She's turned her talent into her profession and to serving others. So I think that's amazing. I think when you're able to take what you loved and share it with others, and then better yet, turn it into a profession, that that's amazing. So I wanted her to share her story with you guys. And if you have any questions, like I said, feel free to put it in the chat. Hi everybody. I see a couple people on. I see Justin. I see you on. I see 55 Infamous. Do you know who that is, Jada?
That's my boo.
Hi, Boo. Hi, Boo. Thanks for joining. Okay, so Jada, let's spend the first 10 minutes just telling everybody kind of about your story and how you kind of, how you had this talent and then kind of where you took it.
Okay, so hi everybody. My name is Jada Brown. I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to be on here with my beautiful cousin this evening. And I am a professional singer. I am a music teacher. And how did I get here? I started singing in eighth grade, went to
Mhm.
Jim Hill High School, which is a nationally acclaimed high school choir. That's how I got my start. That
Okay.
granted me a full scholarship to Alcorn State University in the music program. And I was a music education major. And not even before I graduated college, my last semester of college, I started teaching at an elementary school in Mississippi. I taught music.
Okay.
And I've been teaching for 4 years. I'm currently in Syracuse, New York. That's where I live now, a native of Jackson, Mississippi. And how on earth did I get to Syracuse, New York? I know a lot of people wonder. First, I have to give all of the credit to God because God definitely brought these opportunities into my life and
Mm-hmm.
these blessings. So I taught in Mississippi at the same school for 2 years, and it didn't seem like I was going to get my contract renewed. And so, being a member of a Divine Nine Black Greek letter organization
Mm-hmm.
sorority, there's all of these types of networking groups on the app GroupMe, on all types of social media. And so, I got into this group called Greek Job Opportunities. I asked, I'm Jada, I'm this age, I need a job as a music teacher, I'm willing to relocate. And this young lady from a member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated sent me 7 links, and the first link that I clicked was Syracuse City School District Urban Fellowship Program. I looked into it, and when I tell you there was only an email on the brochure, there was no application link, there was no phone number, but there was an email. Sent an email to the email that kicked it off. I got a phone call. Hi, Jada. Are you certified to teach? We want you to do an interview. Did a virtual interview from Mississippi for a job in New York. I got a phone call probably less than a week later. Your interview was perfect. I said, perfect's a strong word. And she said to me, she said, you talked about the kids in your interview, and you wouldn't believe how many teachers never really mention the kids in the interviews.
Oh.
And I said, well, that's what it's all about.
Mhm.
And so fast track, June 2018, they said, we need you to come up here sometime before school starts to get your background check. And I came up here, did my background check June 2018. I came and looked at this beautiful apartment that I'm in. And I said, this is my apartment. I said, that's my job. I told my parents, I'm moving to New York. I got a job. My dad said, no, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have a job in New York. And I do. And so it was all, I believe, heaven sent.
Right.
The process was so smooth. And I taught at one school the first year that I moved here. They loved me there, but the school was in receivership, so it shut down. I had to be transferred to another school. I love this school even more.
Okay.
And so I truly enjoy my profession as a music teacher, and I love teaching middle school children. I love singing for them. I rap for them. I have a middle school choir. I sing with the Mississippi Mass Choir along with my mother and my sister. I definitely try to stick my hand in singing with bands at bars and things, as much exposure as I can get singing, because the gift that God gave me, I'm so grateful for. And I love raising my voice. I love singing.
You
I
do.
love rejoicing with God and sharing my talent with the world. And so that's who I am. That's how I got here. And it's all just a big blessing for me in my life.
Let me ask you a question, Jada. And I like it's obviously with being kind of know you personally. So, but some people on here may not know you. They don't know you personally. And I
Hmm.
know that when someone said to you, "Okay, Jada, uh, reply to this email." Okay, reply to this email. Okay, then you got a job. Like that takes a lot of courage and a lot of guts, if you will, to say, to look at your parents and say, "I'm moving to New York," and they're like, "What?" And you're like, "New York." From Mississippi to New York, just like that. You got a job. You got a dream job. And so, tell us about like that courage, or what were you feeling at the time when they were like, "Jada, you're
Yes.
moving." I mean, and they told you you got the job, and you said, "I'm moving." What was that?
So, as the baby of four, I've seen a lot of people do other things before me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the fearless singer in the family. When they asked my sister to sing, she's like, oh, I'm shy. But me, I've pretty much almost always been fearless in the aspect of showing my talents and being who I am. I am an extrovert. I am a sociable butterfly. I love people. I love spreading my wings. I love traveling. I travel by myself a lot. I drive hours, so the courage and the faith that I have in God, it didn't waver not one bit. So my mom's like, don't you think it's a scam? I'm like, it can't be. It can't. I got these links from an actual person.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I just believe that that wouldn't be
And
what the case was.
was that the first link that you clicked on? Was the
That
one?
was the first
Yeah,
link that I clicked on. That's why I'm telling you, it's all God. All God. It was
yeah.
the first link that I clicked on. I looked at others, but that was the one that I clicked on first. And I said, wow. I looked at others and they didn't appease me.
So how long do you remember what between the time you clicked on the link to the time you were driving out of your driveway? Do you know? Do you remember?
I want to say 3 months.
Wow.
I looked at that link probably somewhere April 2018.
Mm-hmm.
They contacted me about an interview sometime in April 2018. I got a job offer May 2018. I came to Syracuse, New York in June 2018 to do my background check and to look at apartments, places to stay. So it was within 3 months.
And did you do that with someone? Someone come with you?
My mother and my cousin, Kermit Smith,
Mm-hmm.
they both came.
Okay.
They took that drive with me up here in June. and I moved here in August 2018.
Wow. Okay, so you went back. You went back for a little bit, got your stuff, and then came back.
Yes, brought 3 cars up here full of things.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
And now, so now you're settled in. You're settled into your apartment, as you say. You love it. And so, give us some, I guess, lessons that you learned. I not just from taking. I mean, taking the leap, and now sharing your passion. What are some lessons that you've learned kind of along the way? There might be someone out there that's thinking to themselves, should I make this move? Should I?
Hmm.
Can I do this? There's
Yes.
people that say, yeah, no, I'm not going to move, or I can't move, or I don't have this, or I don't have that. What would you say that your lessons are to people?
Well, there are some mottos that I live by, and I would like to attribute those and call those lessons because we've always been taught growing up, treat people the way that you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
And because I network and I speak to people kindly and I put myself out there, I feel like that's one of the lessons that I've learned. Sometimes a lot, especially this day and age, is really who you know.
Okay.
It's not about what you know. So
Right.
networking and treating people with respect and kindness, that's one lesson that I have always lived by and learned. And I try to convey that message to my students as well. The next one is life is what you make it.
Life is what you make it, people.
And I'm saying that's a lesson that I learned because I feel like a lot of times in my teenage years, I had some hardship with bullying or feeling ostracized or not feeling like I fit in. But life is what you make it.
Mm-hmm.
Even when hardship comes your way, you can choose to rise above those hardships. You
Mm-hmm.
can choose to enjoy life in spite of the ache, as Andre Day said in the song "Rise Up." You can choose to rise up in spite of the ache, and I do. I'm very seldom sad because the last motto, happiness is a choice. Life is what you make it. Happiness is a choice. We choose to let things affect us. And although things happen in our lives, a lot of things we're in control of, including our emotions,
Yeah.
how we let things affect us. And so, as they always say, you can find the light at the end of the tunnel. It's Life is enjoyable. It's a journey that you have part control over, and then some parts not. But as long as you realize that life is a gift, you
Mm-hmm.
can enjoy the things that come with it, no matter what they look like. So those are the 3 lessons that I have learned. And that happiness is a choice. I literally learned that quote last year. And I was like, you know what? That is right.
Right.
That's
Happiness.
absolutely right.
Happiness is a choice. So, if someone came to you and said, Jada, I'm thinking about moving to pursue whatever career. Maybe it's a career in music, maybe it's something else. I guess, what other things would you tell them? Maybe would you tell them not to do? That's kind of a new question I've thought about. What things would you tell them? Like, hey, don't do that. And not so much from a perspective of logistics, but maybe it's like for me, for instance, I would tell somebody, because I'm a big worry wart. So I might tell them just not to try not to worry, or
Hmm.
to tell them maybe not to do. If
I love to tell people not to be afraid
ah, good one,
because
good
a
one.
lot of times we realize that we're standing in our own way.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is stopping us, not even a person. If someone tells you no, guess what? Go to another person.
Mm-hmm.
If that person tells you no, go to another person.
Right,
The next thing, don't stop. Don't give up. So don't be afraid.
right.
Definitely don't be afraid because fear will not help you grow. It will not help you to develop. It will not help you to change your atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is change that you desire, you cannot be afraid. But also, don't give up. When you hear those no's, they
If,
can be discouraging.
if it's change you desire, you cannot be afraid. I
Yes,
like that. I want to pin that somehow, but I don't know. But if it's change you desire, you cannot be afraid. I think
right.
a really a really big one, because there are people out there, maybe someone listening, that's wanting to change, but they could be afraid.
Hmm.
They could be afraid of a myriad of things. They could be afraid of, oh my goodness, it's New York, or oh my goodness, it's the drive, or oh my goodness, I have to, you know, move to a new place or pack my clothes or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or even bigger things like how am I going to afford this? You know, that's a real challenge. But I think to your point, if you want change, you can't be afraid to take it
Yes.
and to make it your own, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So now tell us just a little bit more about what you're doing there in New York and with the kids that you work with. Tell us a little bit more about that because I know you like it, you love it.
I love it. You know, I'm not going to pretend that these children are perfect, but they are beautiful children and they just need guidance. And I, for one, I'm a fifth generation educator. And I used to want to be a teacher as a kid. I was teaching my invisible students. So I can't say that this is not what I wanted to do because it is. And when you grow love for students, when you're able to build relationships with a student who may give you a hard time, that's what I do it for. I I try to use every single moment of my life when I'm around these kids to impact them. As a matter of fact, I was just driving around looking for houses. I saw one of my students. I let down the window, yelled loud as I could, Curtis! He comes and gives me a hug. We're not in school.
Right.
But when I see my students, I make it a point to talk to them, speak to them, and tell them, have a good summer. Make sure you're being safe. I don't even really feel like, you know how they say if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life. The lesson plans are a lot of work, but the kids themselves, it comes naturally because I have a passion for people.
Right.
No matter what age, I love people and I love trying to bless others, whether it's financially or whether it's some advice or whether if it's a hug
Mm-hmm.
because you never know what people are going through and these children you wouldn't believe what they go through and it just touches me that I can touch them. And so I teach them general music. I
Okay.
also teach choral music. I do have a middle school choir. I'm trying to make them nationally acclaimed as well, like my high school choir was. I want these children to be exposed to what is outside of this impoverished environment.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to see that the world is your oyster. I want them to see that they can do anything that they set their minds to. So what I do in my job, I don't feel like I teach. Like I teach music, but I give a lot of life lessons in the midst of me teaching these students. And they'll tell you, Miss Brown, you crazy. I love you.
What are
And I say, I love you too.
what are some of the things that they have, you know, came to you with that maybe has shocked you, or maybe some questions that they've asked you that you're like, man, they really do depend on me for a good life lesson, you know, that they're like
Oh man, the kids, oh, they don't hold back. They don't hold their tongues. It's hilarious. They're like, how much you make? Where do you stay? They asked me, I had a couple of students that I found out that they cut themselves. And I literally hugged one of my students and cried with her because she called me mom. And I said, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. Whatever is making you feel like you have to do this, you don't need that.
mm-hmm.
You are special. You know, they come to me with everything. They say, hey, Miss Brown, can I talk to you? I don't like this teacher and I don't like being in their class. I'm getting in trouble. Can you help me figure out a way to make this class better? I got students who are extremely quiet in other classes and may have started off quiet in my class. But
Mm-hmm.
I take the time to try and reach every single student in every single class. You never know why they're quiet. And when I see the smiles and laughter of those kids that don't speak often, that lets me know that I'm doing something right. You know, they come to me with everything. They tell you personal things. They ask you about your personal life. Miss Brown, you married? How old are you? I'm like 50.
You're like 100.
Yeah,
20.
they're like, no, you're not. I'm like, well, I'm 15. I just didn't want to tell you.
Yeah. So I mean, because this might be their thing that takes them to music, right? Like you might.
Yes,
I mean, I'm sure you will be. There's going to be a kid, you know, 20 years from now that looks back and says, "You're the reason, Miss Brown, that I got into music."
yes.
You know, and you're the reason. You're the reason that I'm singing. So
Hmm.
that's the amazing part of. Like I said, you took your talent and now you know you're serving a whole community that's going to reach outside of even where you are, because these kids are going to grow up and probably go to other places and they're going to remember what you taught them, you know,
Right.
and they're going to remember you, seeing somebody on the street in a random day and yelling, Curtis, they're going to
Hmm.
those things. So let's talk about for you what the future holds. What does the future look like for Jada?
So I'm yet praying for my next path that God wants me to take. I have dreams outside of teaching. I don't want to stop teaching. I would
Mm-hmm.
love to say after 30 years that I taught for 30 years. But I feel like I'm needed in the capacity of the federal level of the Department of Education because these students need someone to advocate for them on the federal level. So I believe that I'm going to continue. I'm currently in a master's program for literacy. And so I think I'm going to continue my education all the way up until PhD, possibly move up the ladder, principal, maybe superintendent. I'm trying to be the best advocate for these students that I can possibly be. And I think that goes beyond just my classroom. I also have dreams of wanting to act and sing professionally. I don't want to be famous, but I just want to live out my dreams, you know? And so I hope that there will be a way for me to do all of those things without having to stop one of them, you know, because I tell people you shouldn't give up on your dreams, even if they seem far-fetched. I don't want to give up on my dreams. I want to act, even if it's at least once. I want to sing. You know, I sing with the Mississippi Mass, so that dream has kind of, I've currently been in a studio with someone up here. We wrote a couple songs last night, so you might hear from me
Yeah.
very soon.
Well,
Um,
I
hey Ken.
yeah, he said, hey, cuz I'm pretty sure we're going to. I don't think we have a doubt in that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So what else? Sorry. What else do you think is in your dream bucket?
I also want to like own a few properties back home in Mississippi. My sister and I came up with this plan. You know, I see homeless people all of the time. And I'm a people person and I love to take care of people. It's just something in me that makes me want to be whatever everyone else needs or what God sent me on this earth to do or be. So, homeless shelter.
Okay.
I would love to build a homeless shelter in several
Mm.
cities and employ the same homeless people that inhabit those shelters to give them the start that they need, you know. So if I build a 40-room building and I employ them as the kitchen staff or the custodians or the receptionists, you know, I would I wish I could save the world,
Yeah.
honestly. I hate to see people hurt. I hate to see people without. And so my dreams are just to touch people any way that I can.
You are you're saving the world one song at a time. So
Thank you.
let's see here. Just a few more minutes, and just asking you really quickly. We have 7 more minutes, so just the next, 7 minutes or so, or 5 minutes, whatever. Your kind of final thoughts. There's I've seen people just again clapping for you, giving you hearts, and
Hmm.
saying all these great things. But there's also people that are going to listen to this later, and like I said, just keep wondering how they can do it. So maybe some more of your final thoughts on either, what you want to share with people, or what you want to, like I said, dream about, or what you're scared of, maybe. I know you said don't be afraid, so maybe you're not scared of anything. What just your final thoughts for everyone listening?
I would love to be totally transparent and tell people that although I'm telling you to not be afraid, it's okay to be afraid, but still push yourself.
Okay.
Because yes, I'm fearless in the aspect of relocating. I'm fearless in the aspect of stepping out on a limb to find a job. But there are doubts that we have within ourselves. You know, no one's perfect. I always question, am I doing what I'm supposed to do? Am I doing what God put me here to do? You know what I'm saying? And so I don't want you to think that you shouldn't be afraid at all, but be afraid, but be faithful to
Oh,
yourself, to your dreams, to your aspirations, to your future. Be faithful in that fear. If you are fearful,
okay.
have faith enough to overcome that fear. And I want to also say, I don't have it all together. A lot of people that see me, they're like, girl, you living big in New York. I am not rich. I do not have everything, but like the Bible says, I have the riches that God promised me. And I know that is much more meaningful than money. And I just try to live right. I try to do the right thing. I
Yeah.
try to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. That way, I can't say, well, I didn't get this opportunity. If it's up to me, whatever is up to me, I'm going to make sure that I do it. I'm a procrastinator, but I still get things done, and I'm working on that. I'm a work in progress. So if you feel like you're not reaching certain goals by a certain timeline, don't stop. That timeline is still dependent on you. If you give up, then we'll never reach the goals that we have set for ourselves. So never
Right.
give up. I can't stress that enough. And don't feel that you're less of a person because you didn't meet this mark, or you didn't get this house at the age of 30, or you're not married. We always see other people's blessings and other people's lives, and we compare ourselves to them. But you're on your own time, you're on your own path, and you're in control, and you've got
You
this.
you've got this, and I like the be faithful even in your fear. I
Hmm.
like that. Be faithful, because I think that's important. I think that fear can definitely get you off course a
Hmm.
lot of times, but you have to take your purpose and your why. I was actually reading a book the other day, and it talked about your purpose and your why, and
Yes.
letting that be your compass and your
Hmm.
due north. So if you're always even though you have fear, if you're always faithful to your purpose, you won't get off track, because fear,
Right.
sometimes will definitely creep in. But if you stay faithful, if you stay towards your North Star, towards your purpose and towards your
Yes.
why, which you're definitely a good example of that, because there's lots of things that can come into play. You can make a lot of decisions on your way to your why, even
Right.
though why. So let's
Hmm.
see. I told I told I told Kenny, so he's ready. But I I know he's ready. He's on and he's ready. So I want you. We have just a few more minutes. So we have 3 more minutes. So however long you want to take, and then we'll just come back real quick and just give each other virtual hugs. But I want you to give us a little song here and sing us whatever you'd like to.
Okay.
Give us some positivity, girl. We're waiting.
Okay, now I'm going to sing one of my favorite gospel songs. I'm not sure if it has the background singers, but if not, trial and error, we're going to do it. It's called Encourage Yourself, and I feel like it's fitting for just like you. We have to encourage ourselves. I encouraged myself. I tried to continuously encourage myself, and I want everyone who's watching, I thank you for watching. Always encourage yourself. Even on those bad days, we have bad days, we all do. But never forget that you're in control and it's going to be okay. So, this is my song. Encourage yourself. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself, and sometimes you have to speak victory during the test. And no matter how you feel, speak the word and you will be healed. Speak over yourself. Encourage yourself in the Lord. Oh, oh, sometimes you. I hope y'all can hear the background verses. You gotta pat yourself on the back, yeah, yeah, you. And no matter how you feel, speak the word over your life. Oh, you will be healed. Speak over yourself. Encourage yourself in the Lord. Oh, sometimes you have to word over yourself. Depression is all around, but God is His present help. Oh, the enemy created one giant cell. Speak over yourself. Encourage yourself in the Lord.
The devil tried to get in our live, girl, but we didn't let him. We did not let him.
We're not worried about the devil.
Well, Jada, you know we love you. So
Thank you.
You do. You have the most beautiful voice, and you can sing, like I said, at the drop of a dime. So that that is just a talent, and I really appreciate you coming on the show today, and most importantly, just you using your talent to serve others. I think that's what it's all about, and you know the world loves you for that.
I appreciate you for having me. Thank you.
We love you, and I will talk to you in just a second. And,
love you too.
See you soon, and I'm sure we'll have you back on the show. Oh, we're getting. Oh yeah, the boo is he's there with all the hearts and the emoji. Yeah, we love you too, boo.
Okay. Everyone have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.